What's going on, everybody? I'm Cade Morehouse with Cade Side Press, and today I am joined with my good friend Jena Bishop. Jena, how are we doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I mean, hey, let's get started. Last time we talked, you weren't too happy with some things that were going on, but now here we are. Honestly, probably like I think it's been a year since we've done our last interview or
Hmm.
close to. And now you've been in some very good spots with the PFL. So, can you just kind of talk me through how your relationship with them has grown I guess throughout the year because it kind of feels like the flip or the switch has flipped.
Yeah, I mean everything's been good this year. A lot of the things changed with the format of the tournament, so I think that that's like a little bit better. And just me understanding how things work with them, and everybody's kind of adjusted to the changes, and a little bit more settled after last year was like so much unknown because of the merger with Bellator or like that kind of thing. So I think it's just in a little bit better spot. And for me, I just need to have clarity, and like I have plenty of that. And yeah, this year's been pretty good.
Yeah, you just had a great win, such a good performance over, I think her name is Katerina is how you say it, Shakalova. How excited were you when I guess when she decided to engage in the grappling so much? Like I kind of felt like when I was watching that fight, that was something that just really excited you, that she was willing to go there with Jenna Bishop.
Yeah, no, I was pumped and like I kept hearing that like, that's what she was saying. She wanted to grapple, but you just never know. I think we've talked about this before that people that are grapplers, like all the judokas I fought, they don't want to go to the ground with me. They don't want to engage in so I was just really excited because I'm like, oh, you want to wrestle, you want to go to the ground. This is like my favorite place to be. So, yeah, it was really, I was really pumped.
I've been following your career. I think the first time I honestly saw you fight was in San Diego at Bellator 300. And now you're here with the PFL, you're getting three fights a year. I guess my question to you is how has the PFL helped you develop your game overall? Because you fought three times on average a year. You're gonna have your third fight coming up this year in the finals. And not only that, but just the experience you've gained. I know there are two losses on your record, but you fought one of the big up and coming stars in MMA, if not the biggest star in MMA right now, young stars. And then you also fought Santos, who a lot of people thought she beat Valentina Shevchenko, and you had a really competitive fight with her too. So
I mean, I think it's been like it's great. Like I wanted to have I just want to stay busy and stay active, and so that the tournament format has given me that opportunity to do so. And I think that like, the experience just getting in there, it's just like the more experience you have, like the easier it is to like keep developing because it's like, I can do all the things in training day in and day out, but like the real like actual fight experience is different to where it just, exposes like things that, maybe I needed to work on. I didn't realize that, or just even last year, just some of the fights where it's just like, oh, like I still am having like a jujitsu type of mindset when I'm on the ground versus like MMA, even though I know that my jujitsu is kind of tailored for MMA, but it's just like the scoring things and the weird stuff that gets in your head about what it was like competing for that sport versus this one. I'm like, those things don't matter. And the positions that I want to be in, it's like I don't need to pass the guard because I like to be. So I don't know. There's just a lot of little things that it's just staying busy too and like inconsistent is nice. Just to keep progressing and moving forward and developing new skills.
I was gonna say Liz Carmouche is next in line for you. That's a tough fight in itself, but like what does this matchup mean to you? And you guys are both from San Diego, so like you both have a name out there. So I mean it's kind of like a little cool fight.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of once, when I signed with Bellator, I thought like that's probably eventually me and Liz would probably have to fight each other. And we've trained together. We've like shared privates with some of the coaches that we out here, and sparred together before, so like know a lot of the same people, train with a lot of the same people. So it's like it's a little bit like strange, but because it's like I don't usually. I don't know. It's just like a weird thing, but it's cool. Like, we can represent for San Diego, and I'm glad that, Liz is getting the a little bit more of like the shine, because I felt like last year, she was a Bellator champion and she didn't get a lot of, credit for that. And like she's like a huge pioneer in the sport. So to, share the cage with her is a cool opportunity, because, she's been doing it for so long, and she's, kind of paved the way for a lot of us women to get into this at like a high level.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and this may be a hard question to answer, but you've obviously seen Liz fight. I'm sure you've trained with her at some point, like you just said. I mean, like, is there holes in her game that you've maybe seen that maybe your strengths that you could maybe take advantage of in that fight? I mean, obviously we're gonna find out in August, but however you could answer that question, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this, we do our study like and everyone has holes in their game. There's always things that you're looking to exploit in people. So, I have like um I have some confidence in like in my skills and things that I excel at, that I can use to get that win.
I want to say this. Most times in MMA, around that 30 something mark, 33, 34, you start to see people, the game take a toll on people's body. They start to slow down a little bit. Why do you think it is that you keep evolving at 39 and it's almost as if like you're in your prime, like you could fight anybody right now to the best of your ability?
I say this all the time, but like I feel like women like hit their athletic prime a little bit later. Like mid-30s is like when we start to like that's when we're in our prime. And I'm training all the time. I don't have the wear and tear for doing it for so many years. Like I started MMA later. I've been doing jujitsu for a long time, but I don't have all of those miles on my body from, to like wear me down. And then, just training smart, and I'm used to just grinding all the time, and like staying consistent, and just trying to, you know, evolve every day. I think a lot of times people will start like, you get to a certain point and you've been doing it for a while. You think, I know what I'm doing. I've got this down. You're not really trying to like add new skills or develop new things, and you're just kind of content with where you're at and what the skills you've acquired. And like for me, I'm never content. Like, like any mistake is like something that I'm like, I got to fix that. I got to get better. Even on a good win, like you still have things that I'm very critical of myself about, where I need to fix. I don't like making mistakes. It's like if I could be perfect, that maybe I still would find a mistake, like it's just one of those things where just never satisfied, and always training and staying consistent with that. Because I think you take time off, and then or you take like I know a lot of people, it's like they only really train when they're in camp or they have a fight coming up, and I'm always training. So for me, it's just like I think that downtime, a lot of times it's like now you have to work twice as hard to get back into shape and to get back into fight ready. And I always stay ready, so it makes it easier for me to just keep growing and evolving. And like I have so much like experience in like the jujitsu, like the grappling department, that you can kind of like you can't. There's nothing that only time gives you that experience. So I think that's part of it too, where it's like if I was like a lot younger, it's like you don't have the like 17 years of jujitsu experience that I do now. That's like I guess giving me the ability to get where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I want to say this too. Like, one thing I've noticed about you throughout your career throughout my time following you is your special relationships with your team. Can you kind of tell me what AJ Matthews has meant to your career? Because, we've talked about so many other people in your career throughout, other interviews, but one person I've never asked you about is AJ Matthews, and that's your head coach.
Yeah, I'm like getting angry at him all the time because he always tells me, you don't even need me. Like, you'd be fine. You could do this without me. And I'm like, no, I do. Like, there's just something that he there's a lot of trust with him because, he's done it. He's been in the cage. He's had the experiences, like, and fought for a long time. He understands a lot of the grappling stuff. And then is a really good, stand-up coach, like a great striker and a lot of skills. And it's just one of those things where having that kind of trust with your coaches is really important, where I'm like, if he tells me what to do, like, I'm gonna believe him. I might, like, when we're in training and practice, like, I'm always gonna like talk back and be like, hey, he'll add something new or give me something to do, and I'm like, I don't like it, it's not feeling good, but I'm like, just have to I always tell him, like, I just need to, like, disagree with you at first, and then I'll get to agreeing with you. But that's my personality. I just need to be a little bit, I don't know, like, combative at first, and then I'm like, I trust, but it's because I do trust him that he's not gonna, like, steer me the wrong way, and he's like always trying to give me things that work for me and not change who I am as a fighter, but just like add to who I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say I noticed when you were just in your last fight, and I think honestly the announcement team said something about this too, but he's so calm in the corner. Other coaches, you see a lot of you see some calm ones, but a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
they're in their fighter's face. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is that just kind of something you adapt to well, as him being calm, or is that just who he is as a person in the situation?
I think that's like a lot like who he is, but I think that's also something that why he's a great coach for me, because that, like, I've said this a whole bunch. I tell my husband all the time. I'm like, he's able to keep me calm. I don't want to be too overexcited or amped up, but, like, it's like just very, like, clear and concise, coaching. Like, he's not giving me too many things to think about, because if I'm overthinking, I'm worried about, like, trying to, like, yeah, if I'm just thinking too much, then I just don't feel like I'm fighting my best. So it's just clear little things that he'll give me, that I'm like, okay, I can go do that, and I don't have to think too hard about it. It's just like reminders. And then that calm presence is like, yeah, you don't want to, because I think a lot of times, even in jujitsu, I would feel like I need to rush. And that's when I'm not doing my best. I'm like forcing things, or rushing too much is just not like a good, like, a place for me to be. And so just take my time and, like, just keep me grounded. It's like, yeah, he is very, I had one of my students, like, see the clip of him coaching me or talking to me in the corner. And she's like, oh my God, he's like, just like relaxing. It's like, I need him to, like, do some, like, meditative stuff for me.
Yeah, no, he's like super calm. But I was gonna ask you too, like I see you work with a lot of people at your gym, jiu-jitsu wise, and honestly, it kind of seems like a lot of young kids. I don't know if you coach a lot of young kids or whatnot, but I do see you post a lot of stuff about it. So I guess my question is like, what does it mean to you to come back to those young ones, victorious, and then also like kind of like as an inspiration in a sense?
Man, and, like, that means so much to me. It's like, I love coaching, and a lot of people don't like teaching kids classes, but I love kids. I don't have kids of my own, so I still have the patience to deal with them. I don't have to deal with it at home, but um I just, like, coming back and seeing them all so excited and, like, proud of me. And I don't take being that, like, in that role model, like, position lightly. Like, I definitely want to be a great example for them. And I know that I have a lot of, sweet little faces looking up to me. And, there's one of the kids, like, she just is kind of newer to this to jujitsu, and she's been training with me for a little bit. But she saw me, like, win, and saw my fight, and, like, that motivated her. Now she wants to do the competition class, because she was kind of, like, hesitant on doing the comp class, but she's like, no, I want to get good like Professor Jenna. And then she wasn't going to come to training on Monday, but then her dad's like, oh no, I told her you were going to be back. So she's like, oh, I have to go. And so then she was there every day, and it's like, I love that. And I love, like, I walk into the gym, and I have all these like kids running up to me like, ah, Professor Jenna, like congrats, or just like giving me hugs and like it just I don't know. There's nothing that like really compares to that.
Yeah, that's like super awesome. Does that is that one of the would you say that's one of the best feelings in the world out of all of this is like just the smile that you could put on like I guess everybody, but those kids' faces just like, hey, like I could do this, you could do this too.
Yeah, like that's something that I like love that like I get to just I don't know, it just it feels really good and I'm glad that I can be a good example for them and inspire people 'cause it that means more to me like making them proud and like and just being able to, even in like in the good and the bad it's like you have to show them how to lose you have to show them like how to be, in victory and defeat, like hold your head high and keep pushing forward and because especially as kids, it's like learning how to take a loss is just as important as like learning how to win. And so I'm glad that I can do that, you know?
Yeah, no, it's like that's a beautiful thing, and and I think that's good, because I feel like the youth needs that in a sense, So, but I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'll let you get out of here. What is the funniest fight moment you've ever had, and the most embarrassing moment?
Oh, I don't the funniest fight moment. I don't know. I'm trying to think like I'm not sure.
You
I'm
never
like I'm
you
sure
never
that
had
like
any?
there's a whole bunch of stuff, but like yeah, I don't even know.
You're like so locked in, you can't really think of like anything that would be out of the ordinary.
No, I mean like I get yeah, there's nothing really that's happened like too crazy to me, I guess. I don't know. Have you seen something funny to know about?
No, I mean I know some people that have like weird stories, but like I don't know. I've
No,
never
I mean,
nothing
I guess
specifically.
one of my first fights with yeah, I think it was my first fight with PFL in the back like warming up like I'm always dancing and have music on and I had Angie back there with me and we're like kind of like twerking and dancing and then like it was oh shoot who was why can't I think like Fedor and like he was there coaching some people and they were coming into my locker room they were supposed to be there and I'm like me and her just like goofing off like right before my fight like twerking doing like some silly dances and stuff and I'm like looking around they didn't like want to even walk into the room they stayed outside and they kind of waited and I'm like oh are we making them really uncomfortable I'm really sorry but I'm like sorry I gotta just this is how I get game ready, you know? So like, yeah, maybe some stuff like that.
I mean, that's honestly, I don't know. That might be the answer to the next question I literally had for you. I was gonna ask you, what's the weirdest thing you do to get ready for an MMA fight?
Yeah, I just like, yeah, I like to be in a good mood. I like to be happy when I'm getting ready to fight. So I'm always, yeah, I always have just like music on and just like vibing and like having a good time. And, we were like a lot of times me like if I have Angie with me, we're always like trying to like do some new TikTok dances or something like that, like practicing our moves and stuff in the back. And like, yeah, I like to be like happy. Like I know a lot of people are, like serious and focused and stuff, and I'm like, I I'm focused on what I have to do, but I also like to just be have bring up the
Let
vibes, you
loose.
know?
Like kind of let loose, just,
Yeah,
have fun and that I feel it. I feel it. What
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, what's the most memorable moment that you've had so far in your career?
Um, I think like I don't know. Honestly, like the last fight with Kana, I don't know why that fight was really intense. It was like kind of wild for me just to like try and like throw down and we really went like kind of at it. And I remember like after that that was like a very like I felt really emotional in a weird way because I was just I think it was just like overwhelmed. And then you're just kind of what did I just do? That was so intense. And then there's like a weird like emotion. And I was like kind of proud of myself too for just going in and like just, kind of thugging it out a bit with her. So that's like one. And I don't know, it's like that's like a really like cool experience. But yeah, and I like I've also making my coaches cry because they were proud of me. I like doing that. Really, just AJ. He's the one that cries.
If you could trade with any current fighters, so anybody that fights currently right now that you have not trained with, who would it be?
The fights currently I haven't trained with.
It could be male, female, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm like
Like
probably
if you could
Volk.
take something from their game and put it
I,
into yours.
I would love to train with like with probably yeah, I think Volk. I think Volkanovski, he's like one that's just like there's something about like his energy, the way he fights, everything about him. I'm like that would be a cool person to be in the training room with and just be around to absorb some of that like skills.
That's the only one you could think of that you would really.
That's like one that I would really like. I mean, obviously, my favorite, I would love to be with Nate Diaz too, just because that's one I'm like he would be, I
Doesn't
love the realness, you
doesn't
know?
he come down there quite a bit and do like seminars and stuff?
Yeah, he's done a couple like seminars like at a couple gyms around here, but I just haven't had the opportunity to get in there, you know.
If he comes down there again, or is it like a goal of yours to go maybe try to make one of those?
You know, like I'm like I hate going to seminars. I hate like those things where you just like they always feel like so long. I'm like I want to just like be training with these people, not like, just like not just like learning from like because I even hate doing seminars myself. I'm like, oh, just let me teach a class and like let's train, That's what I want.
What's the most challenging aspect of being a fighter and just your career in general?
I think it's the mental battles. It's like, like inside fight camp, there's the need to just stay, kind of. It's like you have to win every round. You have to be like on and perfect every day, and some days you're not, and some days you just don't feel like it. But just the mental battles of trying to like just stay in it, stay focused, and like be ready, and just sometimes you have to kind of learning how to like give yourself a little bit of grace on certain things and a little self-love when you don't are just like I'm just really hard on myself all the time about how I perform, how I did in practice or how I felt and that's something that's the struggle and just pushing out any doubts or just like negative like thoughts that you might have. It's like you can't ignore them. Like I think it's good to like voice those like doubts, the negative things. I talk to my like husband about it quite a bit, and then like it's like I need to get it out so that and then we can move past it. But sometimes I think you're just supposed to pretend to be confident and perfect all the time, and like it's just not realistic. So yeah, the mental struggles of it is I think probably the hardest part.
I probably asked you this before, but it probably things change in life. So when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for?
Um, Probably just that, like I stayed true to myself and I was authentic through everything and and that like I tried to like, win every fight, not just like skate by on winning on like point fighting type things like that I was trying to finish every fight and like yeah, just maintain like who I am. Like that's something I just don't want to lose or ever come off as inauthentic or not genuine. So that's probably the most important thing to me is just like representing myself to as like a real person.
Nice. August 15th, when the cage door locks against a legend in Liz Carmouche, what can we expect from Jenna Bishop and what will you show the world?
I mean, I think that I'm ready to show the world that, that I'm the champion that I can do this and that expect to us to go to war to like I'm looking for that finish. I'm looking for getting my hand raised, getting that belt put around my waist, making my bank account a little fatter.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jenna, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm gonna let you get out of here. Best of luck to you in camp going forward. Hopefully, everything goes smooth and we'll see what happens August 15th.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for having me.